Welcome to The Howl, where GPAC's team of passionate people share 30 years of experience in the recruiting biz, with front row seats to hundreds of different industries. I'm your host, Luke Linus, and I'll be sitting down in the GPAC studio with recruiters, coaches, and industry leaders to talk shop on modern work culture, job hunting tips, elevating your recruiting game, and insight into trends and hiring for companies of all sizes. All right, hey everybody, welcome to The Howl. Excited for this week's episode. You know, CEOs of any company, any size, have this incredible opportunity to lead their organization and maybe responsibility to lead their organization to new heights, to new growth, vision. But it can be a challenging seat for many, regardless of what size a company are. So I'm excited this week to have none other than Ryan Good, CEO of GPAC, in the studio. Welcome.
All right, man. Thanks. Thanks, Cool Hand Luke, for having me in. I appreciate
Luke.
that.
All right. I get the intro back.
I appreciate it, Luke. Thanks.
Ryan started out as a recruiter 1993. He went, really all in on this business, became one of the most well-known recruiters in the industry. 16 years ago, he made that change from running a desk as a recruiter to, really taking the helm of GPAC as a chief executive officer. Hasn't looked back. Really amazingly grown the company from 12 people to almost 475, everybody included in that. That's moving from 2 million a year to well over 50 million a year. It's pretty amazing growth in a relatively short period of time. Got you in the studio today to talk about all things CEO. So
right on. I'm excited to be here. I love talking about growth. I love talking about GPAC, of course, but our business kind of is like any other. They all kind of, our views on growth and growing and overcoming adversity. We welcome adversity, and we've had our fair share of adversities over the years, and I don't know, it just gives us a chance to sharpen our tools, and every time we have one of those, it gives us another gear to go on. So, yeah, it's great, and I'm excited to be here, and I hope I can share some things, and I think I can, that others can, take with them and help their companies. I love to help people. I love to hire and teach people the craft of recruiting. I love to share my game. I don't keep anything within. I love to spread it. And I love to do the same thing with other companies, help people grow. Life is short, get one go at it. So let's do something fun and rock it and be the best.
Awesome. Well, let's start with your backstory. So, like I said, you started in 93. It's a family-owned business, right?
Yep.
The company really got established in 90. And you started out as a recruiter. So kind of talk about that.
Yeah, man. I went to college and I played basketball and I ran a little track in college. So it was kind of busy. I didn't know what I was going to do. Our family started this business in 1990, the year I went to college. So, a couple of years, I kind of went through biology and chemistry. I thought maybe I'd want to be a doctor someday or something like that. And, when I was getting closer to graduation, I was like, I'm getting to be a junior now. I should probably start picking this out. Like, what are you going to do, Ryan? I have no clue. So I decided to give recruiting a try, and not a try, but I was going to do it for a summer job. And I did. And, what I had going for me was I was competitive. I was ultra competitive, and I was hell bent on, I'm not going to get beat by it. So I didn't know if I'd be passionate about it, if I'd really like it, but I did it for a summer and it kind of got in my blood. And it was a challenge at first, but I kind of liked it. And then the next summer I did it again. And then when I graduated in 95, I started full time. And, my backstory is such that I got involved. I did it. I put my blinders on to become good. And, after a couple, 2-3 years, I got pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a moment kind of where I think everybody has this where, you got the little devil on one side and the angel on the other that's saying, hey, Ryan, you should maybe there's something else you want to do in life, or maybe you should check something else out. And had this one, like, I just thought about it for a minute and I was like, you know what, I could jump around and try all these different things, or I could take one craft. What if I took this craft and just, where could I take it if I put my blinders on and absolutely gave it everything I had? And it really excited me, just as a recruiter myself, to start aiming to be top in the Midwest, top 10 in the world, number 1 in the world. Oh man, that got pretty exciting to think about.
Yeah.
And I made that decision right there. And once I did that, it's like a whole new world opened up. Like, I didn't guess and second guess anything else anymore. I was locked into one thing. So my mind wasn't being stolen by these other negative thoughts, or maybe I should do something else. I was all in, and these magical doors opened up of all the areas. And that's where I really became passionate about this craft. And then the more I did it, the better I got, the more people I brought in underneath me. And we just started this fun and this party, and we dominated the digs that we worked. We're just, and it just kind of built from there. I just never
Yeah.
really looked back, and I'm in it for the long haul, and this is my craft. And it's been awesome because it's allowed me to live out my authentic life. It's no longer a job. It's something I love. It's a lifestyle. I can live out my hobbies and still be engaged. So it's really a cool thing.
Yeah, and I think there's some hidden wisdom in there too. You said, you made that the kind of monumental decision to say, I'm just going to do this really, really well. I kind of hear some even wisdom to CEOs, companies, and maybe anyone in their life where there's this like, do one thing really, really well. Like, what company really thrives on doing a bunch of things mediocre?
Right.
Right. So whether that's you're creating a product, you're providing a service, whatever
Yep.
you're doing, if you dedicate yourself to really focusing and doing that one thing the best possible way, I'm kind of hearing from you like
Yeah,
that's
totally. I agree. Whether it doesn't matter the industry. You could own a
mhm,
lumber business. You could own
mhm,
a car dealership, or run a whatever it is.
yep,
Um, just yeah, by focusing in on that and honing in on that and just making your decision, that's what you're going to do. It opens up so many possibilities. I don't, and
but that's been true of GPAC all along, right? I mean, like you really sought out to build a company that really freaking good at recruiting, and that hasn't changed.
yeah, when we started, failing was not an option. Failing was not an option. I'm not just saying it like people say I could. It was truly not an option. We could not fail. We, we had to make it work.
Hmm.
And and that foundation was built. Then we had a found. There's an old thing. You can't build a house on quicksand, or it's not going to stay. But if you build something on a strong foundation and provide it with the right passion and leadership going forward, it's gonna be something special.
Yep, yep. And you made that move from, so you recruited on a desk, you became really successful, pretty well known in your industry, right?
Yeah.
And that was so you started in what, 93? You recruited until what point?
2006 is probably
Okay.
heavy on a desk.
Yep.
I mean, work hard, play hard.
Yep.
It's not like when I say live, eat, sleep, and breathe. It was that, but it wasn't like I was in the office 24 hours a day just
Right.
grinding. Work hard from 8 to
Yep.
5, and then whatever we're doing, hanging out.
Yep.
Talking about business,
Mhm.
probably dreaming about it at night, and wake up and do it
Yeah.
again. Type deal, but.
Yep. And what was the
Um,
move from the desk to more of a leadership role?
Well, my brother Matt we have a cool dynamic. I mean, our parents were Dave and Sandy, just excellent mentors and leaders for us getting established. And then Matt and I have a really unique partnership because, my expertise is recruiting and passion and growing and sales. And he's a strategic thinker, strategic planner, he's a numbers guy in accounting. And, here I am just hands on because I love it. And that's what I'm comfortable with, and we're growing. I mean, I'm not just me recruiting. I'm starting to bring in guys on my team. So it was kind of like the bulk of our business at the time. The bulk
Mhm.
of our sales was my team. And he said, the bulk of our sales was that team. And he said, Ryan, I think you need to come off a desk.
Mm.
If we're going to scale this thing, you need to come off a desk. I'm like, well, man, I don't know about that. I'm kind of I was kind of the
Kind of the
nucleus of
big
this
deal
team.
there. Yeah,
And
sure.
but I did, and I did. It was a great move, and just all these clients that I had, I just handed them off to the recruiters I trusted, and we put our focus on running this company and put our focus on hiring good people, and that's kind of how it kicked off. Yeah.
Hey, what was that like for you to move out of that comfort zone of like, I do this really, really well, and now I'm going to kind of, take a bigger role in that?
Yeah, I bucked it at first. I didn't really want to do it, but once I kind of understood the vision and once I made the decision to do it, it was game on.
Yeah.
I was good. Once I turned over those clients and put them on, then my shift was on. Now it was about the next thing, not just building a desk. I'm going to take everything I did on a desk that
Mhm.
made me successful,
Yep.
and I want to transfer all that knowledge that I learned from my mentors, from my people that I learned from, and put it into new people that could spread it down and pass it down.
Yep.
So it's really about, sharing the opportunity, and with that comes growth.
Yep. Yep. And you're really a specialist turned CEO. You know, you don't have a business degree, right? You're not coming into, into moving from a management role in one position to take the helm of another company. I think the strength that you had early on was you knew this business inside and out. And so you're taking that insight, that kind of boots on the ground insight to the level of, okay, now it's not just about me and my desk, it's about everybody else in their desk, right?
I definitely think it's a plus. It helps with us that I was a recruiter on a desk and I could see
Mhm.
this business through the eyes of a recruiter.
Yep.
Some of our leaders, now maybe a lot of them have come from recruiters, but some maybe not so much. So it's helpful. You can see, I can relate how recruiters think,
Mhm.
how they feel, what's going on in their minds. And, that was a positive, definite positive for our business. And I,
Yep.
I kind of like the fact that I had that upbringing in the business and boots on the ground in the trenches. And
Yeah. What would you say to as advice to other CEOs? You know, hopefully there's some CEOs out there listening to this podcast. What would you say to them about that move from being the guy that's doing it to the guy that's kind of helping everybody else doing it?
well, I like to, first of all, what you have to realize in life, there's this thing, the mediocrity and great spirits. And, there's an old quote that I like that great spirits have always faced violent opposition by mediocre minds and naysayers. So, first of all, as a basis for that, that's an Einstein quote, but that kind of resonates with me because I recognize that there's naysayers. So I dream big.
Mhm.
Like back in the day when I was talking about what we used to do, and we used to do 200,000 a month, what you
Mhm.
were saying back
Mhm.
in before when we said we're going to do five. Oh, we said we're going to start doing 300,000 a month, and there was a guy that laughed at us in the office.
Mm.
He laughed at us, and you know what happened? We skipped 300,000 a month and 400,000 a month. We're right to 500,000 a month.
Mhm.
You know
Yep.
what I mean? So I welcome that. So I'm not afraid to dream big. I like to
Yep.
know the ends of the spectrum. I mean, one end of the spectrum is failure, just nothing. What's the other end of the spectrum? And then am I willing to pay the price to get there? I can have anything I want. Do I want to build this big enough, $1 billion company and 10,000 recruiters? That's a choice I have. We can
Mhm.
do that.
Yep.
Just being realistic, knowing what the ends of the spectrum are, deciding where you want to go. Maybe it's not a billion, but maybe I want to be a $150 million company and it looks like this. Am I willing to pay the price?
Mhm.
Determine the price, determine what that price is to get there, and then decide, are you willing to do it?
Yep.
That's it, really. I believe we can accomplish anything we want. It's beautiful about this country and about this life,
Yep.
you know?
So that's really your advice to CEOs is dream big.
Yeah, the old saying, shoot for the top. If you fall a little short, you're still up there in the stratosphere
Sure.
somewhere, but you got
Yeah.
to kind of, and the other thing is there's no such thing as maintain. Like I said, you're either growing or you're dying. It's
Mm.
100%. You're growing or you're dying. If you try to maintain, you will go backwards. So if you're going to grow, why not grow at a fun rate?
Mhm.
Everything we do, we've never taken a loan out for anything. We're not borrowing money to go hire people.
Right.
We didn't borrow a dime to go
Yep.
get some loan or investors.
Yep.
Everything was and people when they see our bottom line and our profitability, they're like, wow, they can't believe it because we have high margins. But
Mhm.
so we've hired with, but we're not afraid to invest in ourselves and grow. And we've got a good team. Obviously, it's Matt and Jason and Chad and Dave and sending our leadership together.
Mhm.
It's having quality people. And then the other advice I would give that's really changed my life is about 7 years ago. I used to, hire. We used to list. We love to give this opportunity to hire people. But when I made a firm decision to deal with high character people,
Yep.
and because you can invite anybody into your camp, you can invite somebody with maybe not the best character into your camp, and you can teach them to be a good recruiter. But now you have a good recruiter or a good leader with a questionable character, and it takes so much. It takes so much energy. I can't count the days and hours and weeks we've sat there and talked about one person. Oh, and since we've put that stake in the sand and decided to deal with quality, high character people, even if they're not the most skilled, they don't have to be, the rare people, the Michael Jordans, the Tiger Woods, they have a great skill set.
Mhm.
They have hard work ethic. They're naturally gifted and they got high character. Those are kind of rare. Those are your really uniques. But
Sure.
hard work, if somebody's hardworking and they got good character, they're willing to put it out there and they got good character, we can roll with that. That's a good
Yep.
person. You know
Yep.
what I mean? But if character isn't there, if the character piece isn't there, then the other two don't really matter. So now our culture has changed to the point that we really have a cool ship. We don't have any of that. And our culture almost weeds it out for us. If a bad apple gets into the mix, it kind of gets known pretty quick,
Sure.
and we get it out. You know what I mean? So, it might mean getting rid of a high performer.
Sure.
Gosh, do you keep this person? That person's a big biller. Geez, sometimes it's better just to eliminate that and get it with good people. And
Sure. Yeah. So your advice to other companies is really like there's this high, in a world that's often about skill sets and backgrounds and can you do this? It's your experience is the better quality person you can get in the door, they can learn, they can grow, they can maybe learn something they've never done before, but they're going to have that character that really keeps everything together.
right.
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
So, one of the things we were talking about before the podcast was a little bit of how, you've talked about how competitive you are, how unafraid of adversity you are, and you've also talked a little bit about how since the beginning of this company, we've kind of almost cyclically we've experienced a major adversity to this company. Why don't, if you don't mind, share some of those adversities, and I want to land on kind of the one that we just faced in the pandemic. But
Yeah.
talk about like 2001. I think that was the first one.
Let's start one before that.
Fair enough.
When the office started in 1990, we started in a major recession. Well, that's so long ago, I don't even know what that one was about.
Sure.
But there was a recession where it was hard to find. In our business, we like it where there's a lot of jobs and these companies can't find people because that's where we come in. We can find hard to find people.
That's the value. Yep.
So when recessions hit, typically companies don't hire. They're laying people off. There's superstars on the bench without even jobs. So there's no companies that won't pay their fees. So there's really no business. So that's why recessions can possibly hurt firms if they're not equipped right. So when we started in 90, it built pretty strong because we started in a recession. We learned how to work hard. We've always been one company that respects the basics and highly proactive. We don't wait for stuff to come to us. We're proactive. We make it work. So I was told at a young age, recessions happen, every 7-8 years. And I don't know if that was true or not, but it kind of 2001, I was heavily involved on a desk and that was a big one. I can remember sitting there in the office when the jets went into the towers in New York.
Yep.
We watched it from the
9/11,
office.
yep.
And it was a super, super bad deal. And I mean, that was a bang to everything. I mean, we were just rolling. We were on pace to just kill it on a desk, and it shut off. And it was kind of like, and a lot of times people in our industry, we can be adaptable because we can kind of move. We were placing people in commercial construction at the time, and it just went dead. It went from feeding frenzy. Many companies needed these people to nobody needed
Just
anybody.
nothing.
So I think a lot of people stay with the ship for 3 years because they say, I've seen a lot of different recruiters, different people in other industries say, I got all my time invested into this construction that I got to stick with it. Well, we picked up our team. We moved over. We found a brand new industry. Truss designers at the time. We never knew it. We never talked to a truss company, never talked to a truss designer, but we knew that there was demand for these people.
Yep.
So we just picked up our team, went over, sat down in it. We built more during that recession than we did the year
With
before.
construction.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now we got a new industry. 3 years later, when construction came back, construction's kind of a tough one. It's the first industry to die, and it's the last one to come back during a recession. But when it did come back, we went back on it. We were in it. So that was the first example of a major adversity that we were able to overcome at a small scale. But then the next one was a bigger one. And I don't know if you have any questions about the first one, but
well, I mean, I think what I know about that was just that there was this moment where I think everybody's kind of wondering, are we going to do this or not?
right.
And like team maybe got a little smaller, and now it's this decision of like, are we going to keep going?
Oh yeah, because that's the same one. That's the same adversity that the 2001 one when that happens when we had we had more than we had a pretty big office. We'd been in business for 11 years, and we had some fallout.
Yep.
A lot of people left, and it was down to basically me and another guy that were active on a desk. There was two of us looking at each other, and that was a pivotal moment. That was kind of a monumental moment of all of our company because we'd been 11 years in business. We had built up to a 25, 30 person office. We were well known within the organization out of other firms, and this big recession hit. It was the first one I've really ever experienced other than the one we started in. And a lot of people left and had fallout, and we were basically starting from scratch. And somebody even made the comment like, oh my, do I have the energy to get this going again? And I sat there. We had 3 decisions to make. We could fold up. We could fold up camp. We could try to keep going.
Yep.
Just see what we could come up with. or we could absolutely, and it just hit me like a ton of bricks. I just used all this fuel, and I thought about the people that left, and
Mm.
I thought about this, and I took all that energy, and I said, not only are we gonna, we're just gonna go. Now we're gonna really go. That put fuel in my tank. It's still in my tank today.
Mhm.
That's 20 years ago,
Yep.
and I can still get fuel out of that.
Mhm.
And it was me and Jerry Beach, and I said, and Dave Good was there. Dave helped. He got on the desk. Matt came on the desk. Now we had 4.
Yep.
And we just went into that new industry and just hit it.
Yep.
And we started right there from 4. And then then we started
Yep.
going. That was
Yep.
really the new wave of
Yep.
our business, where it really took off again after the first major
Right.
deal.
Yeah. So then now you're growing, and then you hit, 2008. That was the next.
Yeah, and that was probably the worst one I've been through, because that was a financial crisis,
one,
like
yep.
2008 hitting
Mhm.
boom across the board. And okay, let's do it again. Here we go.
Yeah,
We got
yeah.
another one.
Yep.
La had been through it by then, Jason, and a few of these other guys. So we
Yep.
were kind of more prepared for this one, but this was a long one. But we survived it. Oh, yeah, I remember that. We were on pace to do like a record month, and then I can't remember if it was September or October when that thing hit. It stopped right there in the middle
Really?
of the month, and we didn't bill a thing for the rest of the month. So it was really scary.
Yeah.
But I don't remember all the details of what we did then, but it was
Yeah.
just failing wasn't an option, and we just
Yep,
rolled through
you
it
pushed
again.
through.
So then after that one, I was like, dang, we went a long stretch.
Mhm.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 2017. Are we ever going to hit a recession again?
Right.
I was like, we got to have one coming up pretty soon.
Yep.
And I'm ready.
Yep.
Bring it on.
Yep.
And then COVID hit
And then
us.
COVID hit. Yep. Yeah. So let's talk about that. So COVID hit, been just over a year ago. Lots of things changed by that. Talk about that moment for this company with the unknowns on the table.
Yeah. So when COVID hit, there was a lot of confusion, and, it wasn't really like the other ones where it was financial, but it was huge because it was
Right.
a pandemic, a major century plague, and so nobody really knew what to do. It seemed like the brakes hit for a little bit. Everybody was kind of in a stall pattern for a couple months, but it was the same mindset, it was just another adversity.
Yep.
And we knew it would just make us stronger. I look at every adversity as a chance to find another gear. If I was in 6th gear with the last one, I'm going to find a 7th.
Yep.
And we just welcome it, and we hit it. And it was crazy because, we were all in the office. We had, I don't know, quite a few offices around the country.
Mhm.
We had our main campus in Sioux Falls was full.
Mhm.
Hundreds of recruiters walking everywhere. It's buzzing.
Right.
That's
Big momentum. There's
big
a lot of
momentum.
momentum at that moment.
and that culture piece. We thrived on culture. Like, people would say to us, man, when I walk into GPAC, I walk in those front doors, like you can almost like feel it or smell the energy. Like, boom, you walk in, it's hardcore, it's going, it's footballs flying, and it's loud, and it's going off. So the weirdest thing was when we had to put people home. Like, how's this going to work?
Right. Kind of losing that culture piece or that momentum piece, right?
So we were all kind of against it, but we knew we had to do it. And thank God for video, GLIP, and
Yep.
video conferencing, and we sent everybody home, and we continue to break records.
Right.
We broke more company records through the pandemic than I think we did the year before.
Yeah.
And everybody was working from home.
Yep.
We have better stats having people working from home with our new classes than we did before. It's crazy,
Yep.
and it's beautiful now. I
Right.
don't know. I love it. Now we have the option of both. If somebody wants to be in the office, that's yes and yes. It's just,
Right.
we'll fill up our offices for people that want to be here, and if people that want to work from home, it works perfectly fine.
Right. Well, I think like anybody in any place of life, right? There, at any moment in our life, we're faced with a decision, and we don't know the outcome of that decision, right? There's no guarantee. You didn't know that we would break records this year. You didn't.
No.
You wanted to,
Yeah.
but you didn't know how, and you didn't know how it would work out. You didn't know what the pandemic would do. But I've heard rumors about this meeting that happened. I think it was probably in this office where everybody sat down and it was like, this is the decision moment.
Oh yeah.
Are we going to roll over?
Yeah.
Are we going to batten down the hatches?
Yeah.
Or are we going to push forward? And I think you're the person that said, we're going to push forward.
Absolutely. Just like the ones before. I mean, you have that decision to make every time you have an adversity.
Yep.
Is just think about that. You can lay down and die.
Mhm.
You can try to keep going, or you got to get this mindset. You get a mindset like, not only are we going to do it, we're going to find every silver lining in this stupid thing.
Yep.
I can't even remember them all right now, but there's about 4 or 5 silver linings I could think of when this thing hit that
Yep.
were beautiful.
Yep.
more time with your family, yet still can kill it. We're on the phone. We can still work
Yep.
from home. The whole country now can work from home. It's beautiful. It's changed. It's changed
Yep.
life. To me, to think about getting on an airplane to fly across the country for a business meeting and get 2 nights of a hotel room for this 45-minute meeting face to face seems
Right.
ridiculous. When I
Yep.
could have all that time and just get on that call and still see him face to face
Right.
and cover what you need. So, a
Yeah,
lot of silver
I
linings.
think it's really cool because I knew of you guys before the kind of cultural shift or desire you were wanting to make to say, hey, this recruiting profession is an amazing opportunity to really work from anywhere. We call it the laptop lifestyle, right? To be able
Right.
to grab your laptop and your phone and sit on a deck somewhere and literally do your job and do it well, right? That was a vision before the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
You weren't reeling from that was just something we
Right.
wanted. And so it's fun and funny, I guess, that literally that became the catalyst to seeing that vision full,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, totally.
But my observation just of the company and of your leadership in that sense then would be it was a willingness to adapt. It was saying, we're not just gonna like do the same thing and be resilient. We're gonna keep doing the same service, keep offering that same service, but we're going to do it in a different way,
Right.
which was now freeing everybody up to work from home.
Yeah.
And literally it didn't slow. It sped up.
It didn't slow. And we keep the option if people want to come in, they can come in. We
Mhm.
still have an office at,
Yep.
and yeah, some of our top producers, I mean, well, they're all working from home now, but even, Ben down, his ultimate laptop lifestyle is right. He's,
Yep.
riding his motorcycle across South America and living from one resort
Right.
to the next. And he kills it. And
Yep.
yeah, a lot of that. So there'll be more of that with different industries too.
Sure.
I think a lot of different industries across the world are seeing that and embracing it and liking it. And
Right.
well, it's fun.
And you mentioned a couple things, but like I said, you can't see the future, so you don't know what's going to happen. You just as a CEO or anybody decision maker, you're just trying to make the best decision you possibly can, right? And have hope for the future. You made a good one, and now you're looking back at the year we've had. Like, what are you most proud of through this last year?
Well, I'm really proud of obviously everyone in our company, and our leadership staff. First of all, I mean, they all stepped
Mhm.
up and just done a phenomenal job. From home. It's almost been better. So the way I look at it is you can't predict the future, but you can control your output. And whether I was on a desk or leading this company, if you continue to put in, if you do the right thing and respect the basics and keep putting the plow down,
Mhm. Yep.
chips are going to fall where they're going to fall. I can only do what I can do.
Yep.
And we're going to give it our best. And if giving
Yep.
it our best, it usually just keeps going.
Yep.
We're good at what we do, and we made a decision to be good at it, and we're just stick with it. And
Yep.
so I expect big things in the future. I expect really big things now. Geez, we're coming on the tail end of this pandemic
Mhm.
now, and
Right.
we even did well through it. And God willing, who knows what'll happen or
Right.
whatever else. But we're going to continue to grow. With growth becomes a lot of opportunities within. A lot of cool, neat coaching opportunities and marketing opportunities and filming opportunities
Sure.
and podcasts and going global. And we're already kind of have a pretty global presence. So just exciting. I guess I'm not doing it for selfish reasons. I don't want to do it for, just personal gain. I whatever we're building, like I said, we're a God first and then family and then work. But, when I say a God first company, what I mean is by that, which is important to me is, God's given me skills as a leader
Mhm.
and in this craft. He gave me skills to be good at this craft and to share them with people. So we're all going to meet our maker someday. And I just want to have whatever we've built. It's really important to me that what I'm doing with my God-given skills are going to be pleasing to God when I meet my maker. So
Sure.
it's important for me to try to keep that really at the focus. Now it's not like a Sunday school here. It's not like we're not like
Sure.
a library. It's quite the opposite. It's a locker room. It's sports. There might be a little cussing. There might be some high-fiving, but we're like warriors. We play hard. But deep down inside, God's our that's our foundation, and really trusting and doing well what God wants us to do, and we feel by doing that. I feel like by doing that, He's going to help take care of this business, and I
Mhm.
believe we have been blessed. And then family, of course, we really want this thing to be the best place for people to spend the working portions of their life. It's the most rewarding and best place. We don't want it to be a sweatshop. We don't want it. We love our people. We care about them. We care about the spouses. We want them to be successful. It means everything to me. If we could have a record month, and if I've got 3 people out of 400 that are just not experiencing the beauty of this business, it's like, dang it, I just want them, because in business, it's like, man, if you're wired for this, great. It's what could be one of the most beautiful things in the world. If you're not wired for it or you don't like it, just do something else because life is
Yep.
short, right? I'm not saying everybody has to do this, but it is a cool business. And I
Yep.
guess I'm just proud. And this is what I know. There's a
Yep.
lot of other great businesses and speaking with other CEOs or other leaders, I'm sure there's a lot of fun businesses to be in, to be passionate about. And,
Right. Yeah. And you're somebody who's still saying like this is the industry to build. Like for you, this is the vision. This is not just going on to do other things. This is
Right.
saying this is still the thing that I want to build. That says something about you, I think 16 years later, right?
Yeah. I mean, I like it. I'm our leaders like it, our people like it. So I'll just keep it
Yep.
going. There's still plenty of hobbies to
Oh,
fill your
sure.
boat, go pick up chainsaw carving or go fly an airplane or,
Yep.
plenty of hobbies that can fulfill that. But
Right.
I don't know if I've got my whole lifetime, you think of all the nights around the dinner table investing into this business and it's what I know. It's what I know. Why would I go, I don't know, to go change now and
Sure.
dig so
Yep.
we have to grow, continue to grow. And, I'd like to, our plans are, I always like to be number one. So
Yep.
that's what I'll always shoot
Yep.
for in a good way, in a healthy
Yep.
way, not for any bad reason, but somebody's got to be number one and it might as well be us. It's our playground. I feel like strong about that.
Yep.
This is our area and our space. And I know there's other people in the space and I wish them success as well,
Mhm. Yep.
but I
And
want to be at the top.
And I want to hit that. Before we go there, I'm curious, what I know about you when I talk to other people who work for you. I think a lot of people talk about your generosity. So, meaning you're not afraid to share your time, share your finances, share what you have, share your knowledge, your years of knowledge doing this, right? You're not
Totally.
just off in a closet somewhere doing your own thing.
Yeah.
You're available for people. That's something that people say about you, and I'm curious what you would speak to other CEOs about that kind of generosity piece, because whether you mean to it or not, it's a value of yours, and it affects your company. So, what would you say about generosity, and just kind of that intrinsic value to other CEOs or leaders out there?
Well, one, we're a pretty flat company. I don't feel like because I'm in a position of on top of the company or up there that, I can't. So I really like when I meet the new class,
Mhm.
I'll meet a new class of 30 and I love it. I talk to all of them and I sincerely, I'll tell them everything I know. I can't wait as you develop. And I'll just tell them, any one of you, my phone, you could call me anytime. I mean, I get up at 3 a.m. Between 3 and 4, I'm up. You can call me. I'll hop on. We'll share screen. I'll go to to tools. I'll go through stuff with you, and I really mean that. I want to, and I've done it. I do it a lot. They call me, and I'll talk and share it because I'm a recruiter at heart.
Yep.
That's my craft. It's
Yep.
not like I don't know what I'm talking about. I can
Yep.
show them at a very high level what to do. So I think it's foolish for me not to.
Yep.
And and just I love to share. Our house or
Sure.
lake place and stuff. I love to bring people or trips. We do bring our people on trips and. I don't want to be the one doing that without our crew. If I
Yep.
could bring our whole crew every trip, I
Sure.
would if we could, but we have a pace
Yeah.
setter, so all of our top builders go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But my point is, I think if you lead in that way, it does reflect throughout the company the kind of attitude of generosity and investment, right? It matters to a company.
I think so. I think it does, and I sincerely mean it. And I guess if people feel that way and like it, that's good. And that's yeah.
So you talked about being number one. Talk a little bit about where we're headed. What we want. I wouldn't be afraid to share what that is, but talk about the future here.
We grew from a tribe, a small little tribe, to a company before we even knew it. We started in this little tribe of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of us, and pretty soon we were 100 people. And it's like, dang, we're kind of a company now. We gotta. So our planning hasn't really been ultra strategic. Like for example, I'm 49. When I was 47, here's how one of our planning went. Let's do 50 by 50. We might have been a $20 million company
Sure.
then. We can do 50 by 50, 50
Mhm.
million by the time I turn 50.
Mhm.
So we just played with the numbers and we worked it back, and we need to
Mhm.
have, this many recruiters and that. And can
Sure.
we do that? Yeah, we drew out a scale to it, and we hit it. We hit 50 by 48
Mm.
roughly, or 49, just
Sure.
we're about hitting it now. So we surpassed our goal. So, that's kind of the way we're taking it, it gets kind of, we're in talks right now about a next big
Big
level,
number. Yep.
and it's kind of
Yep.
it's kind of a big number,
Yep.
but I don't have enough of it locked in yet to just start
Sure.
sharing it.
No,
But
not expecting that, but I think what I'm hearing from you there, and maybe the little nugget of wisdom there, is it's always setting big goals, and it's reverse engineering it to know how to get there, right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
whether you're sitting at a recruiting desk or whether you're at the helm of the company, it's about setting a goal, and then it's about actually figuring out the steps to get there.
I think a lot of people might be afraid to grow because they feel like if they grow, it's going to be more headaches.
Mm.
There's a thing going around. Oh, I don't want to be a leader because with leadership comes problems, and leadership comes all these headaches, and that causes people not to want to grow.
Sure.
They become a 5 or 10 or 20 person firm, and they're dealing with all these headaches and all these issues themselves. But what happens is if you get past that and you get really good leadership, there are leaders out there that love it, that love to deal with those adversities. Not
Mhm.
everybody doesn't like to deal with them.
Right.
Some thrive on it.
Yeah.
And as you build and get bigger, there's buffers in there that help absorb this stuff. So it's almost like the bigger we've gotten,
Mhm.
it's just been fun. I mean, I just, so we kind of just go off little whims like that. It's not a lot of
Sure.
strategy, like, oh, we should do this.
Sure.
Wouldn't it be fun to get to the size where like I didn't even really quite know everybody where I walked in there?
Mhm.
Let's do that. Let's try it out
Sure.
once. That'd be kind of weird. And I like to know everybody, but then it got that way. Pretty soon
Right.
I'm like, I don't know everybody. And then, it kind
Yep.
of goes, and just little things like that we play with. But we're getting to the point now where, with our decision making and strategy, it was kind of fun little goals before, but we always got them.
Yep.
And now it's a little more like we're gonna kind of set a little more some fun
Even
but
bigger
serious
goals. Yep.
and scaling goals. And with scaling though, then the other thing that comes is some people say, well, we don't want to be somebody told us once, an advisor, keep it all under one roof if you can. If you build a 200, I'd keep it all under one roof. I said,
Mhm.
you know what? I don't like it under one roof. I don't
Hmm.
like that because I think a campus is more fun. College is more fun.
Sure.
This hospital has a campus. This college has a campus. GPAC needs a campus.
Sure.
So we had a campus. We have a building here. 2 blocks away, we've got a building. Another block, we've got a building.
Mhm.
Backpacks. We got golf carts going around.
Mhm. Right.
Music playing.
Right.
Fun. I walk into some offices and, people poking up over their desks and, there's no music and it feels really like they can't wait to get out of there. And that's a decision. You don't have to be like that.
Right.
I think that's, you got to have an inviting place. But so that was kind of what we wanted to do.
Yep.
Right. And
Yeah, but the decision you made, I think the thing you said there, whether it's a style thing or not, it's a conscious decision to say we're going to grow, and we may not have everything in place, like all the scaffolding in place, but we're going to grow, and we're going to deal with things as they come. That's a very different way of thinking than maybe a lot of companies do today.
Sometimes you have to put the balls in motion. You can, there's an old thing we used on a desk called analysis to paralysis, but
Mhm.
that can happen in leadership too.
Hmm.
Let's perfect it before we do it.
Sure.
Let's talk about it. Talk about it. You talk about it so much, it never gets kicked off. So
Yep.
you don't want to be totally unprepared.
Yep.
There's a fine line between getting the ball rolling and you don't want to do a major thing and not have your ducks in a row. But
Sure. Yeah, like
kinda-
there is growth that could be potentially damaging, right?
right.
But if you can grow and catch up and solve some of those issues, you've now scaled,
Yep.
right?
Yeah. So it's been a fun ride, and I love it. I love our people.
Yeah. Kind of looking back over your experience, like, what would you say, kind of as we round out the episode here, like what would you say to CEOs in a similar seat? They may be in a different industry, maybe in a company of 20 or 2, right?
Yeah.
At one point, just kind of some big things. I know you've said a lot in this episode, but what are a couple of things that, you would offer as advice from your seat?
Yeah, I try to find the passion, you can make anything you want. Everything's a decision in life. So if you find yourself like stymied or not feeling fulfilled, I mean, what is it that could make you fulfilled? I mean, are you passionate about what you're doing? I don't think everybody's automatically passionate. Passion can be found. I know it for a fact because I did this business and then I was not passionate 2, 3 years in. And by setting goals, that created more passion. So set some fun goals, have a vision. I almost look at our business sometimes like a piece of art. Like I'm creating a piece of art, like have fun, architecting and thinking about it and getting with Matt and Jason and you guys and Chad and their top leaders and how we can, it's fun, and just make it a game. Life doesn't have to be so serious all the
Mm,
time. You can laugh about it, not everything's life or death. Find the humor in it. And, what do you want to build? And doesn't even have to be, sometimes people get so serious about stuff. We went to 50 million just for something dumb because I said 50 by 50
sure.
and we just did it.
Yep.
We didn't go to a bunch of people and all these, we're making
Look up the
way more
stats.
money.
Sure.
Everybody's making way more money now than before. And it was just a
Sure.
little decision. So everybody's situation's different. I'm sure some people have maybe a board that kind of is real strict with decisions. In our particular case, we're pretty flat, amiable. I'm not afraid to take shots and
Yep.
try things. Not everything works, but a lot of them do.
Yep.
And they're not major, risks. Like we're not borrowing money. So
Sure.
it's just investing in ourselves. So
Yep. That's really good.
Yeah.
So have fun along the way.
have fun. Yeah, we kind of, a lot of times we call our place. We don't like to use words like manager and employee.
Yep.
Because I think those words kind of unsell and they're negative. We like to use coaches
Yep.
and players, and we kind of talk about our place like a party.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about it like a party, and I think a lot of people have liked GPAC because of that. They like the culture, and that was we kind of missed that when the COVID hit, but
Right.
we're still doing it. We're just finding ways around.
Find
it
a
now.
way to create a fun place.
We're
to
not all
work.
there high fiving, but there's a lot less distractions in the office too, and we can still get together.
Yep.
We'll go have parties and hook up and
Yep.
do that kind of stuff. So
Awesome.
yeah, man.
Well, I round out every episode with kind of some rapid fire questions. So just
Oh yeah.
totally some of them totally unrelated. Hopefully some of them related to you.
Yeah.
So just real quick, just kind of give your best answer. Kind of just mix it up here at the end, and then
Nice.
I'll kind of land on one that we want to leave people with. So you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So one way you want to grow personally this year.
Well, personally, I want to grow, get my mojo back. I used to be I love life. I do all kinds of hobbies. I probably have more hobbies than most people I know. I chainsaw carve, I fly airplanes, I have airplanes, I do all this stuff. COVID, living at home and everybody probably got I want to get my mojo back, get out
Kind
and
of
about.
that adventurous spirit.
Get the adventurous spirit back and start, really get out and living and having fun
Awesome.
again.
This one's totally random. Where are the best tacos you've ever had?
Best tacos I've ever had. Oh, my wife makes really good tacos.
That's a good answer.
And my mom does too. What do I pick? They're both really good.
Those are both safe
And then
answers.
my buddies, I got a couple good buddies that have Mexican restaurants and make salsa, and theirs are really good as well. So,
Okay.
yeah.
What? So you did talk about hobbies. What is a favorite hobby right now, or something that you're wanting to learn?
Well, it's weird because all my life I've hated landscape. Can't stand it. I don't even like to mow my yard. Leslie mows the yard. I don't even like to mow grass. I don't know. Something hit me. We're doing this challenge with some of our leaders are doing this 10,000 step a day challenge. I've been doing it for 20 days. Those guys have been doing it for like 60.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it just, doing this thing, it's given me like a lot of energy again. And I all of a sudden got into I love my skid loader. I love operating equipment.
Yeah.
I'm buying all these trees. I was sitting there moving great big old tree pots around and planting
Yeah.
them and just getting in the dirt.
Yeah.
I think that
It's
might
like
be
lawn creativity.
my newest one.
That's
Creating
awesome.
a yard. Yeah. I'm getting back on the chainsaw again too and start making some sculptures. That's good.
Yep.
Good kind of good fun too. But I got kids and sports and all that, so I don't have a lot of time between GPAC and
Yeah.
that. But
Yep.
I want to get it all. I got more ideas and fun than I have time probably to do them all. But
Yep. Where's the favorite place you've ever flown to? You're an avid pilot.
yeah, well, we've got a little fishing camp up in Canada, and that's probably the neatest because you're going across the country and you're going into a remote island, closest place, neighbors a couple miles away, and
Yeah.
to fly your own de Havilland Beaver on floats into this camp and land on the water and with a couple buddies and some beers and your dog and just nothing but a bonfire and fishing and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's probably my favorite one. I like to use the planes to fly to little adventurous spots.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Last one of the day, kind of thing to leave people with. What's one of those leadership mantras that you most often rely on?
Just the for me, it's that great spirits have great spirits have always been violently opposed by mediocre minds. The war, and it's okay if somebody wants to be mediocre in life. I'm not judging anybody. Somebody wants to do it, but when people take shots at, when you make goals or misery loves company,
Sure.
I think, and so I'm always aware of that, and I'm prepared for it. So as I grow, I kind of like to keep that in mind. And I have this little war going on, a healthy one, but just this little, I want to put a pillar in the sand. And with that, continue to grow, knowing that there'll be people that don't want to see success.
Sure.
And always keeping God at the center, and family and us. So that's probably one of my biggest things I think about, and providing opportunities for people. I love that. This business has been a blessing to so many people, change their lives. And I feel like a little bit like there's so many thousands and hundreds of thousands of people in the world that I'm so lucky I got into this. I mean, I could have been anything in life, but look at the doors it's opened. Like, people are making crazy money and being able to live their authentic lives. I can't believe how many people are out there that could be wired for this,
Sure,
that have never even experienced it yet. And that hurts me to think that somebody might be in a dead end job and not like life. And, this isn't for everybody. Not everybody likes this either, but,
so it drives you.
Drives me to share and keep growing by giving back to them. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks for coming on the show.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Luke. I appreciate it.
You bet.
That's been really fun. I appreciate you having me. And
onward and upward.
Onward and upward. You bet.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks for listening. If you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to the podcast, first of all, as we get some more of these out there. Check out the previous episodes, and also head to, gogpac.com/knowledge center. Ton of great stuff there. The Howl episodes are there. Great articles, resources coming out every single week, not just on recruiting, but, anything that's going to help you win at the corporate game. We'll see you next episode.
Right on. See you guys. Goodbye.